And welcome to the Davenport Coaches Show, live from Uccello's in Caledonia, our final show of the season. And before we get to head coach Sparky McEwen, we're going to take you back to Sunday afternoon, the day after the final game of the regular season. And the entire team gathered together for the postseason banquet. Players, coaches, family members, and all got together and celebrated a fantastic season, not knowing if the season was going to extend, because it was in the hands of the NCAA voters on who goes on to the postseason tournament or not. Davenport, of course, had never made it to playoffs. We don't have the video to show you, but a special moment happened as they announced the pairings for the regions.
Ferris State will host a team who is in the playoffs for the first time ever, the Davenport Panthers.
And that was the scene at the banquet, Coach. We don't have the video to show them, but we can tell them. You can tell what it was like, because the place erupted, as you could hear, as you heard your name called. What an exciting time! What a special moment for your staff and all those players to experience.
You know, it was a great moment, a great evening, a great day actually, for the entire university and our football program, because we've come, so far in a short period of time. And, just like you see it on TV, and we really didn't know. But a lot of credit has to go to, Tony Annese and Matt Mitchell. They pretty much, when they're lining up to play each other weeks before, and the news was out there to do a special coverage of the big game that they had coming up, and the both of them, without even knowing it, said, hey, there's another team here, in West Michigan, and that's doing some big things, and they hadn't had a loss yet, and it was us. And so they saw something special in that group then, and it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool evening. And at the point that it hit, I'm sitting there wondering, wow, we got to get back in the office, because we really didn't know. We had some people saying that we were going to get in, but then we had others saying that it was going to be tough to get in, because it would be 3 teams from the GLIAC, which, once again, it's just an amazing conference.
That was the big issue, was that it wasn't really as much a question of did you deserve to, because you did. You had the 6th toughest schedule in the nation. You had only 2 losses, and they were the 2 teams ahead of you in the region and the number 1 team in the country. Question was, would it hurt? Would it ruffle other feathers if you had 3 teams from one conference? And apparently, they were able to overlook that.
Well, enough wasn't said about, 2, I like to say 3 big victories. We had a team in our conference, which I have mad respect for Coach Olsen and his group at Michigan Tech, and that was a program moment for us in winning that game. But there was 2 other significant wins. One was at Truman, in which they never lost another game until the last game of the year, into the title game in their conference. And then the other one was a big win against, a much heralded Saginaw Valley State team at their home. So to go on the road and beat, 2 decorated programs was significant for our university, our football team. And I didn't think enough credit was given to our boys for that. Winning those 2 big games on the road, it says a lot about, what they were made of. And I really felt like, the last 2 weeks, we went against something that we haven't faced, and it was different. And our boys have faced it, and they're extremely tough, but they're different, both those teams, and they're really, really good. And so I didn't think that we had a great performance against, Grand Valley, but they had a lot to say about that. And when we played up at Ferris, once again, I just think that when you're playing teams that are just different, they're used to that stage. Those guys, they want that big moment, and I think it was another growth spurt for our program. So we're in, and it's a 0-0 season, and right now we're just not happy to be in. What the hell? Let's just go ahead and see what we can do while we're in it.
We'll talk more in your final segment about the Ferris game a little bit more, and we do want to touch on the fact that the game is this Saturday in Big Rapids, 1 o'clock, and you'll be able to hear our audio broadcast again on DUPanthers.com and Magic 104.9, correct?
Yeah, we're excited about that, and we're able to get that thing done, and our community has just shown up big and listening to our program, and everywhere you go, they talk about Panther football.
The turnaround, Coach, how gratifying is it to you as the head coach and your staff? You go from 3-8 to 8-2.
Just like all coaches out there in their program, we don't just like to lump in just the last year, because you say 3-8, I say 5-8.
That's right.
Because we played.
You had the 2 spring games.
We had the 2 spring games that we played when the rest of the GLIAC didn't play, and I called it catch-up football. I need to play football. Just like this tournament, this is an extra week, So when you start talking about the Grand Valleys and, the Ferris States, if you look over the number of years that these teams have gotten into the tournament and they've gotten bonus football, that's another reason why they are who they are. They're playing longer into the seasons, and this just gives me another week, with these guys just to continue to get better. And I think my staff has done a tremendous job and truly setting it up for 1 week at a time. It's not coach talk, but it's facts for all football coaches. We really try to stay in the moment. And so it's a culmination of a number of years, in the making for this. I've got, Jalen Robinson, Khalif the Beef, that's been on Liam Kavanaugh. We've got Kyle Wojan on our team. These kids have been here in 3 and 4 years and have seen the change and the growth in this program. So I know what it looks like on the outside, but on the inside, if you get beat up enough, you're going to get up and hit back.
Well, I'm going to ask you something I really don't know. You hear it at the Division I level a lot about teams qualify for a bowl game. And, yeah, it's great to go to the bowl, but the extra practices, they say, help you for next year. On a 1 week level, does that carry over in your program, getting an extra week of practice, or is that really not that big a deal for 1 week?
No, it's a big deal. Guys begin to understand that the regular season's over, and we had a countdown clock. And we had a countdown for our practices. I said, hey, when we're sitting there with zero losses, I said, guys, guess what? We've got 6 practices left. And you could hear a pin drop. I mean, the guys look like, because they're having that much fun. And then all of a sudden I said, we got 3 practices. We got 1 practice. It's over, And now, though, you heard the applause. Now it's bonus football. So it's an opportunity. And it's a huge opportunity, and it's going against the defending national champions. And, some people say, well, you guys should have went south to go play, some of those other teams. And I tell people all the time, you're going to have to go through the best in order to be the best. And we've got the best right here in our conference. And, we took a whooping the last couple of times, and, it didn't feel good. And our players were out there. They experienced it, and, they know what playing big boy football is all about now.
Well, Coach, you brought a couple of your seniors, leaders on this team, Cy Barnett and Elise Ambase. Just kind of quickly capsule what they meant to your program. You haven't had them for 4 years, but they've made a huge impact.
First, Elise Ambose, what a joy. He's different. I call him the boss man, and he's a young man that, he's a difference maker with his character. He's a difference maker in his leadership style. His leadership style is much different than what student athletes are used to. He's kind of a throwback. He's had some misfortunes where, he's had some setbacks with injuries, but, now he's back and he's playing at a high level again. And so we're very excited about Elise and coming back in the role that he's come back and feeling good about his body and in his future. So his leadership has been significant. He was voted one of our captains, 2-time captain. So he's one of the guys that's obviously is going to have to step up big for us. And then, Cy Barnett. Cy Barnett's, it's come a full circle for myself inside because, I was, there at Ferris when we were able to recruit
him
to, Ferris, and I was excited about him. And then a few days later, I ended up getting the job, at, here at DU. But I remember the break. I was at the game, I think it was playing Harding, and he had a devastating break, fracture of the leg. And, I felt so bad for him because, I was one of the guys that helped him come to Ferris, and he had a really good career there. And then I know he made a professional decision to go play Division I football, and, that whole thing didn't work out, and the opportunity landed itself for us to be together again. He has been a huge, huge difference maker on our football team. He's coming from a program that knows how to win. He comes from a program that expects to win. He comes from a program that practices football in the snow, and he gets to convey that to our guys, okay? He made an impactful speech to our guys just recently, and it was heartfelt, So having those type of leaders in your program, guys that understand what it takes to be mature and to play at a high level and to get to the highest level, it's been very meaningful to our program. With those two guys, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now.
All right, we'll take a time out and get to those two guys. Lise Mbase and Cy Barnett will continue with the Davenport Coaches Show live from Uccello's in Caledonia.
West Michigan homebuyers, if you're considering lenders, please contact Mario Flores at 231-638-0200 at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. It's a wonderful time to be in the market for a mortgage when you choose Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. Van Dyke's loan experts know how to help you prepare and help you get approved. Don't wait for the market to be perfect. Start your planning with Mario Flores, branch manager at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore.
Mario Flores, NMLS number 135862. Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp. NMLS number 3035. 231-638-0200. MarioFlores.VanDykeMortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
And we welcome you back to the Davenport Coaches Show, live from Uccello's Caledonia, our final show of the season. We want to thank the great folks here at Uccello's Caledonia who treat us so well all season long. Spencer, the manager, and Brittany, and all the great staff that they have here that do a fantastic job taking care of us here, and we enjoy and appreciate our visits here. Joined by Cy Barnett, a graduate student from Williamston, Michigan, in the Lansing area. He joins us now, and Cy, you're probably too young to remember a folk rock song from the late 60s. It talks about what a long, strange trip it's been. And you had quite a journey in your college days here as you, again, started at Ferris State. Coach talked about your injury and then ended up doing a good job in the Ferris program, then heading down south momentarily, coming back, and you reconnected with Sparky. How do you look at it right now, if you try to group it all together?
It's been fun. Obviously, every single memory I've had has been amazing. This year has been also super amazing. Coming from last year's program where they didn't win so many games to then, going on an 8-win game streak and then putting us into a position where we're able to make playoffs, So there's been so many great memories just with my career and with this season, and it's just been a blessing, and it's been so much fun. You
were having a fantastic season, setting school records already for receptions and yardage gained in a season. Then midway through the season, you had a significant ankle injury, and for a while it looked like you might be done for the year. What were your thoughts at that time?
There's no way I was going to be done. That's all I got to say. Sparky said the same thing to me, by the way. He said, I don't care if that leg's broke. He's coming back some point. I knew. It was a little bit of an ankle sprain, but I was too set and determined that I was finishing this year. So I did what I had to do. I was rehabbing it 24/7. I was up at night rehabbing it, icing it, heating it, just so I get back on the playing field. And I actually could have came back a week earlier But Sparky was like, no, there's no way I'm not going to let you come out there and play. So I just did what I could to get back so I could help the team in any facet I could. So that was kind of was the deal.
What did it mean to you, Cy? I mean, how did you convey to the other players as you guys were going down and started looking at, hey, we got a chance to make the playoffs here, but you had been through that. You've been in those playoff teams that made the nice tournament runs at Ferris State. What did you tell your teammates, or did you talk about what it takes to get to that next level?
It's every day. You can't really look ahead when you're looking about or thinking about the playoffs. You go back to our Truman game or even fall camp, it's every day trying to get better. And leading up to the Truman game, we thought we had a great squad, and I knew coming in and we had a good squad. And then obviously us beating Truman, who I thought was a pretty dang good team. It was just trying to improve the next week, and then the next week, and then the next week.
So what are you telling your guys now? I mean, is practice preparation, now you know who you're playing, you know the team very well, we just played them 2 weeks ago. Is practice preparation different in a playoff situation than it is regular season, and if so, how?
I would say not really, not too much. I would say it's more of just executing. It's more important now than ever is to execute and not having mistakes. And mental mistakes are huge in the playoffs, and especially when you're playing in big games. And we've been playing in big games the past 3 weeks. We had Saginaw, who's a great team, Ferris, a great team, GV, a great team. So it's nothing new to us playing another big team. It's just coming down and executing on offense, defense. I think that's all it really counts now, and especially getting those mental reps in practice. And obviously we're all in great physical shape, so it's just getting the mental reps, like I said.
All right, well, finally, Cy, there's snow on the ground. They're calling for snow Saturday. What does that change for you as a wide receiver if it is wintry conditions Saturday in Big Rapids? Does it change anything in your approach?
Makes the game more fun.
Like when you were a kid, right?
Snow angels in the snow.
Rolling in the snow as a kid.
Making snowmen and all that.
All right, you're a marketing major. Tell us what you're hoping to do with that when your Davenport days are done.
So I have a marketing major, concentration in digital marketing. I'd like to go into sales. I had a few job offers back in May that I'll probably look into once the season's done and over with. But right now I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do on a Saturday afternoon in Big Rapids.
Well, you've been a phenomenal addition to this program, and all the excitement that you've allowed this broadcaster to call. I thank you for that. Great. We wish you the best. We know you're going to succeed wherever you go and whatever you do, Cy Barnett. We'll take one more break. Come back, another one of those senior leaders on this team. Stay with us on the Davenport Coaches Show.
Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore's commitment to finding the right home loan for you is second to none. The experienced licensed team at Van Dyke on the Lakeshore will work hard to give you a smooth and timely mortgage process from application to closing. Mario Flores, branch manager at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore, has access to a full range of mortgage products so that you get the right loan with a great rate, the terms you're looking for, and costs to meet your unique needs. Call Mario Flores at 231-638-0200 today and experience the Van Dyke Mortgage difference.
Mario Flores, NMLS 135862, Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp NMLS 3035, 231-638-0200, marioflores.vandykemortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
And we continue with the Davenport Coaches Show, live from Uccello's in Caledonia. Final show of the season. Just roared back. We hope it's not the final game this week. We hope to go on with a playoff victory and continue the season. But this will be our final show either way here. Joined by Elise Mbase, a senior graduate student from Georgia, Ellenwood, Georgia. We're talking with Cy a little bit. You also had big plans for this season. And you had to fight through injuries. You had a number of them. Tell us about the injuries, how they affected you, because there were more than one, right?
Yes, sir. I would say, if you play football, especially in the GLIAC or at a high level, that injury is a part of the game and things of that nature. I was just glad that I was around the perfect structure with my coaches and the training staff like that, communicating, making sure that, you know, I'm doing the proper things, attacking rehab, you know, like a vet and, you know, like a pro, and making sure that, you know, I'm able to be out there with my teammates on game day. And
mentally, how did you block out the thought of, this is my final year of college ball? Why is it happening now to me so much? How did you block that out?
The truth is, you know, I'm a big believer in God, and, you know, I just felt like, you know, everything in life happens for a reason, and, you know, adversity comes when there's a big prize at the end, you know.
I want to take you back to Sunday and at the big banquet, you know, and you guys are all sitting around there, and, you know, Jay, based on what I saw in it, I thought we had like a 50-50 shot to get in. What was your reaction? What were your thoughts before they announced it? And tell us about your reaction when they finally called Davenport's name.
The truth is, you know, sometimes when I go up against a school, I like to do a little bit of research on it, understand the school that I'm playing. And one thing I learned is that, you know, some of these schools, you know, they have just as many GLIAC championship as, you know, we have years playing football. And, you know, and those things like that I find interesting is that, you know, heading into our season, the only games that we lost was 1 to the defending champs and 2 to the #1 ranked team in the country. So I think that, you know, going in, you know, I was leaning more on the 50 that, you know, we're going to go in due to the, you know, the guys that we played and the teams that, you know, we came up short of.
Elise, we certainly wish we'd had you for 4 years. We're grateful we had you for the 2 that we did. What are you going to look back? Let's look down the road 15, 20 years from now. Okay, try to project yourself. You're in your late 30s. What are you going to remember about your 2 years at Davenport, do you think?
What I'm going to remember about Davenport the most is the change that, you know, I've witnessed happening, you know, in front of my eyes.
You know, is that personal or from a team standpoint?
From both standpoints, you know, both standpoints.
Where did you grow the most personally in your years here at Davenport?
I'd say where I grow my most personally is, you know, I got more interested in academics. I got more interested in, you know, thinking like a coach and, you know, understanding you know, the things that a coach, you know, deal with. I got a better understanding of, you know, how football works and of that nature.
You mentioned the academics, Elise. You're a business major. Where do you see that taking you down the road?
You know, hopefully someday, you know, you guys can hear about my clothing brand, or, you know, or you guys, you know, children can hear about it.
You've already started your clothing brand, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, you got an audience. Marketing is the biggest part of it. Tell them about your clothing brand right now.
You can. My clothing brand is Brand of Bosse. You can purchase a shirt at xembx.com. EMB is my initials, by the way. All
right, I'm gonna write that down. Say it again.
xembx.com.
All right, xembx.com, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, finally, Elise, tell us about your family and how they've been such an instrumental part to keeping you going, especially in the highs and lows that every athlete goes to, and especially when you get injuries like you did.
My family, they just, you know, they're the reason why I'm here today, and they're, you know, part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, my mother, you know, she's just an amazing woman. You feel me? Since the day, you know, she given me birth, she never let me go. You know, my father, he's an amazing guy, taught me a lot of things. And, you know, my brothers, you know, I don't think there's, you know, anybody in life, you know, that can separate us. And, you know, my sister, she's an amazing woman. And I just think, you know, those people right there means everything to me. And, you know, I also have an extended family as well as them too.
All right. Well, you get to at least one more time where the red and black. Let's say it. Let's say it's not in this Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Elise Mbase. We'll take one more break. Come back. Coach McEwen will join us once again. So stay with us on the Davenport Coaches Show.
West Michigan home buyers, if you're considering lenders, please contact Mario Flores at 231-638-0200 at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. It's a wonderful time to be in the market for a mortgage when you choose Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. Van Dyke's loan experts know how to help you prepare and help you get approved. Don't wait for the market to be perfect. Start your planning with Mario Flores, branch manager at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore.
Mario Flores, NMLS number 135862. Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp. NMLS number 3035. 231-638-0200. MarioFlores.VanDykeMortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
And back on our final segment with head coach Sparky McEwen here on the Davenport Coaches Show. We talked about the chance to listen to our broadcast, DUPanthers.com and Magic 104.9 or MyMagicGR.com. But we'd love to get the Panther fans in the stands up in Big Rapids this Saturday at 1 o'clock.
That's right.
And tickets are available. You got to go through Ferris State Bulldogs. Go to the Ferris State Athletic and look for tickets. In case you're wondering, here's the tickets. Very reasonable for D2 playoffs. Adults, $10. Seniors, 65 plus. That would be me. $7. Students, K through 12, $5. Davenport students with a valid ID, $5, and children 5 and under free. So again, get your tickets, get out there, and even though the weather was pretty crappy the last time we played in Big Rapids, we had a nice little crowd of Panther fans there.
We did. We had strong support. Love to see them come out again. And, this is always a tough, draw when it comes to playing right around the holiday weekends when schools are getting out.
I know it's not it's our last show, so I'm going to bring this up to you because I know that they're friends of yours. And a couple of coaches have resigned this week. One former GLIAC, Kyle Nystrom, resigns at Northern Michigan, and Leonard Haynes at Northwood, two coaches that you know well as friends as well as colleagues.
Yeah, both of those guys are like family. I've actually spent a significant amount of time with Kyle. And Leonard and myself spent time together as well. He's been in the profession for some time. He's been at Northwood for 27, 28 years, man, and he had a nice run, and it's congrats to him. And just, being in this profession, doing what he's done for young people has been significant, and hats off to him. And I'm pretty sure he's going to, take some time out with his beautiful wife. And, I'm looking forward to speaking with him in regards to his next move. And Kyle, Kyle's a hard worker, man. He's a grinder. And I know it's been, tough. He failed through a lot of injuries over his tenure there. And just getting people to, come up, to Marquette. And that's the only way you compete in this league. You got to have depth. And that's some of the issues that we've run into over the time. So hate seeing both those guys, get out of the GLIAC, and I'm pretty sure they're going to continue to have something to do with, the profession itself.
One thing I forgot to tell you in the first segment, I wanted to bring up something. There weren't a lot of bright spots last Saturday against Grand Valley, but one of them was Demetrius Garrett, your wide receiver, who stepped in when Preston Smith got hurt. He had probably his best game of the year for you.
He did. And, once again, we've got a number of guys on this team that has stepped up in the absence of players. Like when, Cy was out, we had a couple guys step up, and now Preston being out, we had Meach step up. So I'm excited for that, for those young guys, and those guys are all young, and they have a very bright future with us. But, it's next man up. It's next man up, and when you're going against the Division II national champions, somebody's going to have a chance to shine, and it's going to be this opportunity for them to shine.
You told me in the first segment how, the guys were you caught them off guard when you said 6 practices left, 5 practices left. This week, I don't think you have to try to convince them because they know what's on the line.
Yeah, it's not much. At this point in time, there's not a lot of motivation that goes into, what's up. You got the national champions, that's in front of you. That's obviously, the crown jewel of D2 at this point in time. Our guys understand what's in front of them, okay? They understand from the simple fact that we played, Ferris State. Now this will be the 4th time in 365 days. You know, they know us, we know them, the coaches. We're family, first of all. You know, the nieces and the McEwens, and we know each other really well, you know, and those games are always tough from that standpoint, but at the same time, we know that it's a competition. We got to go out there. They want to get back to defend their title, and we want to experience what they've experienced, you know, and it's just another opportunity, man, and it's another way to celebrate being able to play football in bonus football time.
Finally, our last show of the year here, Coach, you told me, I know before the show, that you wanted to thank the good folks at Uccello's here for taking such good care of us every Tuesday night.
I do. And, you know, they've been tremendous to us. They've been tremendous to us when it comes to our football team. They've been tremendous to us when it comes to our university.
Mario and Spencer.
Mario and Spencer, the crew, man, they've been amazing. And then when we bring recruits here, and the fan base in this community have been tremendous. And, you know, it's been great for this magical year, you know, so coming back here is just, you know, they welcome us with warm arms at all times.
Well, Coach, it's, again, it's Davenport and Ferris, 1 o'clock Saturday. Again, hope you can get out there, pick up your tickets through Ferris State's athletic website. If you cannot, you can catch our broadcast both at dupanthers.com and Magic 104.9 FM on the radio. Coach, let's go get them. And look forward to celebrating once again Saturday the way you did Sunday.
Absolutely. Go Panthers.
Coach Sparky McEwen joining us here one more time. Again, thanks to the folks here at Uccello. So all season long, he's been with me. I'm Rick Berkey saying, go Panthers.